Built by KGCI, Real Estate On Air, powered by the Mindset and Motivation Monday. Here's your morning primer.
Seven-figure success starts when you start thinking like a CEO. Welcome to the John Kitchens Coach Podcast Experience. This is your host, John Kitchens. Get ready to think bigger and transform your business into a path to lasting freedom. What is happening, everybody, man? Thank you guys tuning in to another episode of Expert Mentors Live, Expert Mentors 288. Welcome back, man. Good to have you. I've really been looking forward to this conversation, and I was thinking back the last time that we connected here on Expert Mentors, and I was like, man, that was a damn good conversation. And then I was like, it didn't seem that long ago when we just looked it up. You're like, yeah, 2.5 years ago. I was like,
yeah.
What? It's crazy, man. How you been? How are things rocking?
We've been good. We've been hanging on in this crazy market.
Yeah. And for folks listening in, out in the East Bay area, out in California, really primarily more of the Oakland area.
Yeah, I'm personally in Oakland, but our sales team spans like an hour and a half radius each way.
Gotcha. How, you were talking about some of the things that you were really proud of last year. And I think that might be a really good way to kind of kick things off. Obviously, we know the coasts usually, set the trend for what comes into the middle of the US. And I think it'd be kind of important for everybody to understand, how you navigate it 2024 and really setting the way into 2025. And definitely some of the things that we want to touch on as we're talking about leading through change and staying ahead of trends and in kind of where we're seeing things going. But man, I would love for you to just kind of unpack and share the things that you were really proud of last year.
Yeah, our sales team last year, our sales volume last year dropped about 3% in volume from the prior year, which isn't too bad considering what's happening in the market. And prior to that, we dropped like 15%. We took that big hit the first year, I think when the market was down like 30. And then we also last year had 90% retention of our top 50 agents. We started with around like 205 team members, and we ended the year around 190. So wow. We were able to do, because a lot of people left and came, especially a lot of people are like not reading their licenses, but we were able to do same production with way less people, especially coming off a year. So we were proud of, having our top agents do more business.
What did you focus on for that to be true?
We stopped trying to. I know we brought on 100 something agents, but we that was a slower year for us. We didn't do that many events. We didn't do social events just to bring in people. We didn't do panels. We didn't do mixers just to recruit for the sake of recruiting. And we were able to hammer down on just team exclusive events, more dinners and more lunches for our top agents, putting together more workshops and training. My sales director put together like an intensity workshop, which is a pretty hardcore 5 to 6 week boot camp where it's just activity based. We enrolled a lot of agents into like a recommit lighter version of boot camp. So we made a lot of efforts to have agents narrow down, really fine tune their calendar and making sure they're truly productive and not just busy every day. So just less, it seems like a lot still, but like we usually lay out our calendar for the year, but we shrunk a lot of stuff we did. So we did more, but at higher, just high quality work, I think.
Gotcha. Really pouring into your current team members and giving them lots of attention and lots of love. Yeah. I would say that probably really significant in the retention side of things with your agents. And the ripple effect of that is higher production, being able to spend more time with them. Yeah.
And then the in-person relationships, like we have 4 people on a leadership team, and I would say we all have different closer friend circles. Like I play video games with one group of my agents. I go biking with a different group. I do dinners with another. I hang out like just different, building different relationships in different ways. And then my sales director, they also invite people over to his house. They go out for lunches and stuff. So just different kind of breaking down our roster and forming different relationships in different markets with our agents. We kind of got the term like re-recruiting. You're constantly retaining and re-recruiting your agents to make sure this is a place they want to be. And they're happier. They like being here more. So then we shouldn't, if they're comfortable being here, then the production goes up higher. They
Yeah, I
feel
love that.
acknowledged.
How do you, juggle so many people? Is it more, by committee? Hey, we're throwing this out there. Who wants to join us? Is it more of you personally being intentional and personally reaching out to them and staying, really trying to engage the conversation?
We have group coaching calls with my director of sales. He does it 3 times a week, 8:30, 9:30, and they're pretty well attended. Around like 40, 50 people from mostly our team, probably 90% of our team come out. They talk about their day, set about intentions for the week, talk about the wins. They get pretty vulnerable in their personal lives. So that connection builds. We also have a couple different online lead platform partners, and many of the agents partner up on deals. Example, we're a Zillow seller connection partner. And then if you want to be in the program and you get a connection, you're required to work with a junior agent on it. We're constantly helping agents form relationships in the marketplace. So I live in Oakland. We have offices as far as Stockton, which is an hour and a half east of us. And we had office. We recently closed down our Sacramento office after 3 years, but we had an office in Sacramento that's an hour and a half north of us. So when agents, are working with buyers that are migrating all over the Bay Area, they're usually partnering up on the deals instead of just referring out. So that creates more stronger relationships within their company.
Dude, I love that. So shutting down an office 3 years in, I mean, it was it just a more of a logical math decision,
Yeah, the
or
office was too big. We went gung ho and recruit. So last year we brought 110 agents, which again was one of the slowest years we've had. Prior was 160, and the prior year was 240. So a lot of these offices opening during the pandemic was a huge rush, bringing hundreds of agents. But then the market kind of dwindled out, at least the velocity of it. So certain markets we weren't able to recruit as heavily as we did, and a lot of times it didn't really make sense to keep them because they were like profitable but not worth the risk. If I lost a couple producers in the office, and the office could easily be not profitable. So at 2 of our locations, we shut down a couple locations recently, Sacramento being one of them. We just had the agents now just use Regis spaces. And then if you guys are with EXP, you know that Regis is a free value add by the company. But there's also Regis also has a sister company called Spaces. They're more like urban major metro markets. They're both owned by IWG. Spaces looks really cool. It's like WeWork or Industrious. It's kind of sexy, sleek, newer, modern.
yeah.
So now our agents just go use the different Spaces locations, and then their Daily City location, which is next to South San Francisco, they're using the Spaces South San Francisco. So we track all the activity in our team. We look at a lot of data before we make big decisions, including if we're like bringing on new programs or cutting out programs. We cut out a lot of stuff last year too. We add a lot of stuff. We cut out a lot of stuff. Like literally this week, I'm demoing 3 new products. We're always looking at see what we're missing out there. But office spaces, we are looking at the Bluetooth key activity. 40% of our agents don't even use the office once a week. So we did not need like 9 offices for 200 agents. My goal like a couple of years ago was to get to 600 agents. We're on the way there, but we had close to 400 team members 2 Januaries ago.
Right. What I mean, has that goal changed? Does it hold steady kind of where we're at? Do we love the 200? I mean, if we grow, we grow.
I'm estimating that we're going to get down to 150 by the end of this year.
Okay. Is that just through just natural attrition?
Yeah, just attrition, just normal attrition in the market. Way less new agents are coming in the business. A lot of agents are not renewing their licenses. It's kind of sad because like just in the last month, 4 agents, we find out they leave the company because ESP emails us, hey, they're no longer licensed, so or didn't pay their dues or something. So then they got dropped. So we work with a lot of new agents on our team just because we are a newer team. Our average tenure might be around like 3 years on our team.
Gotcha. So we saw that as an opportunity to focus on to see if we can increase that.
To increase the tenure or increase the
count? increase the tenure, increase
like over time like I said, we had 90% retention of top 50 agents. So the agents who start here continue to develop their businesses. It's really fun watching the evolution too, because this is my 6th year on this team. I've been doing real estate for 17 years, but bringing a lot of these like newer, younger junior agents, but now they're starting to like get their listings and getting luxury listings. So we're our messaging and branding in the market has changed quite a bit because again, my average age is probably 29. So taking it back a couple years, we're a bunch of like 25-year-olds running around. I'm 40. So I run the team of younger folks. But now you're seeing them evolve and get better listings. It's really cool to see. Now we're like competing against like a lot of bigger agents in my market. So I like, and the brand's getting better, which is, and when you have more production and higher listings prices, then you're going to attract more people that want to be a part of that. It's
Gotcha.
You got to keep elevating yourself and your world and your brand, so other agents want to be a part of it.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. You're telling that story. I worked with Jack and Michael Perry. They're in Utah, and
they do amazing work.
And they're young, just like you, right? And team dynamic. There, I think the average age of the agent is in their later 20s, and Jack's older, and so him going in and pouring into the agents every day. But
I've had lunch dinner with him. He's a great guy too. They really get a good shop going on.
Yeah, they do. And it's interesting because of what you're saying is they're seeing the same thing as well. And pretty similar of how you built, Michael, really, a lot of Instagram, everything, and just kind of how you built your business. And so it's really interesting to see kind of the evolution as the more they stay with you, the more they grow, and the more that they're able to elevate their business.
Yeah, like crazy thing is our number 2 agent right now has 5 years of experience. He's been with me for 6 years experience. He's been with me for 5 years. And our number 1 agent got licensed 2.5 years ago. So for the company, for unit and volume, he just works hard, open houses every single weekend, hustles, social media, won like Rising Star Award. I think won like a real estate trend maker award. So like on our team last year in California, Rising Star is kind of the Rookie of the Year award. It's recognized in California Association of Realtors. We had 2 of the 10 spots out of the 10 in California. And in 3 years ago, because 2 years ago we didn't have anyone win, but 3 years ago we had 3 out of 10 spots. There were 10 team members, and 2 of the 3 did like 25 deals their first year in real estate. So like we instead of saying, oh, we're great, you'll sell more homes here. Like here's examples of agents who have started with us brand new, zero experience in business, and able to build their businesses really quickly in the first, second year of business. So by using those avatars, we've been able to attract more people like them.
And is it the agents that just come in, follow the process, don't, like push too hard against it, just do what you say? They come in and they just execute.
They show up to like the training and coaching. They take feedback and constructive criticism really well, and they work. They ask a lot. They ask questions. I wouldn't say they ask a lot of questions, because one of my pet peeves is running into agents like that ask way too many questions, the things that doesn't help them do any more business today. Like why do you need to know everything about the CRM before you just go pick it up and make your calls? Or why do you need to know every part of this contract before you're even gonna? I mean, there's so many different contracts, so like there's a time and place for everything, and too many agents are too stuck like overthinking everything. So the agents who just take action and learn as they go very quickly and ask the right questions at the right time, I see do really well. And it's the ones that show up the most. It's really hard to not be successful. You just show up to every meeting you should, every training, every lead, pick up your phone, like just really basic work, but they do it very consistently.
Kenny, you guys made the emphasis to go deeper with the team last year. I'm really curious how you guys communicate. What is the communication structure? What's the average time, where they go to ask questions, resources, what's the response?
We have the coaching calls 3 times a week. We have open kind of broker room from 12 to 1 every day. Karina Demeter is our executive director, kind of plays like a broker liaison. She gets updates from the state, the contracts, deal doctoring, therapist, psychiatrist for the agents. She's a little bit all of that. And then we use Slack at a pretty high level. There's different general chat for you to ask questions, and then a lot of people help answer that. And then we have like channels for open houses, showroom requests, buyer needs. Does anyone have off market? Here's my coming soon listing. So we have like 30-40 different channels, and then every office location we have has their own channel. Every online leads department has their own stuff. Marketing department has their own stuff. So our Slack probably has around 200 active users a month, because Slack does auto billing and auto stop billing you. If someone's not in for 2 weeks, they're gracious enough to not bill us. So my bill I could tell is around like 200 people actively using it. So they'll get their answers. And I learned this new trick from Dylan at ESP in Hawaii at Dallas last week that we're trying to implement. What we're working on implementing is like before you ask any of us a question, leadership, check with ChatGPT first.
Yeah.
Some guy asked me, how do you connect your zip forms to DocuSign? Or I was like, I just Google it. So I send the link I Googled. It's right there. Like, and then I already, some agents, like, those are the things I'm mentioning earlier. Like, they're asking questions that are not necessary. Like, you gotta, to be a good agent, you gotta be resourceful and be able to figure things out on your own. But you're asking me how to connect a zip form to a DocuSign. Like, you're gonna have a hard time later with anything else.
Yeah. I love that. That's such a great point, being able to teach them to be resourcul and
we
where
have
to go.
A training library with hundreds and hundreds of videos. We personally use Mighty Network.
Okay.
We've been using it for years. It looks really cool. That's why we picked it over like Kajabi and Trainio. But there's every training we had, contracts, and every session and every coaching call and every team meeting is on that platform. It's kind of overwhelming now. Now it was a training module, but now it's more of a library because there's so much stuff on it. We're trying to build out a new training program, like 10 things in little courses, kind of like ESP University, but we're looking at working on doing that through Agently right now, an app that we use.
Yeah, dude, that's so good, man. I love that. And so you built your business off of Instagram and have really been a student of social media at a high level, early on into the social media side of things. Where do you see kind of the emphasis with social media, with marketing, with branding, everything in general moving forward? Where is the main emphasis that you're paying attention to, that you're executing on, and having the agents execute on as well?
So I follow a lot of accounts, a lot of people I don't know on Instagram. It's becoming more challenging to have a voice. So like the talking head stuff is kind of gone. Like it's not really the thing people watch anymore, or the highly polished stuff. And noticing on Instagram, like home property walkthroughs or cool content, a lot of really great videographers. It's like we get hit up all the time with these young, new, just out of college videographer that will do content for free to build their book of business. But almost pretty much anyone can get really good content if you just hire the right people. So that's hard to compete now because you can be a new agent with really great content. And then on the other side, like where we seen work really well is just raw, authentic content that's not polished, not highly produced. This could just be you sitting in your car, sitting wherever. Like I've done over 1,000 miles on my bike this year, bikes. So I'm always I'm on my bike recording content with no shirt on home, and that's just my normal thing I do. So people want to see just raw, unedited, and they want to hear your opinion. They don't need to. I don't think they want to hear top 5 things to do when you get in contract. They want to hear, my client got screwed over on this deal because they didn't watch out for these things. It's also, I guess, the hook matters a lot too, but telling stories and telling your opinion, I think is huge. People want to hear what you have to say, and they like the long form stuff. But at the same time, not everyone's gonna pay attention to all your stuff. But if they're interested in even developing a relationship or working with you, they're gonna pay more attention to it. So go for it. Like the likes are less important. You see people collaborate more. They're putting more raw, unique content out there. And then there's really good, I wouldn't call it cookie cutter, but it's like a property tour or something that's more real estate standard, then you got to do it at pretty high. You should be doing it at a pretty high level with professionals.
Gotcha. So when you get into the actual,
I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you get into the actual product itself of the home, or that needs to be high quality. But as far as no talking head, professional quality, I mean, it just needs to be you, raw, in the moment, your authentic self, and tell a story and share your opinion.
Yeah, we're seeing more. I got it from Min What's a Mortgage. I think a lot of people follow him. Like he came to speak at my office like last year and the year before. He said, consumers looking for a BFF. They're not looking for a really high level educator, because then they might hear something from you, but then end up working with someone locally because they're just getting the information for you, but they want to work with someone they could feel like they can develop a relationship with.
I love that. And
so don't just try to You could be, but don't just only try to be the expert and the local, the specialist. Like they want to know that you're a human being, and then you maybe you need to crack some jokes on it, or be vulnerable, or just put a different spin on it. Like for where it's not, it sounds less rehearsed or scripted.
Yeah. Dude, I love that. And I mean, it's genuine, authentic, right? They want to be able to connect. And I love how you put it. They want a BFF, and that's so spot on. They do. And they can have that connection with you. It does make things a whole lot easier for sure. Yeah, no, that's wild. Another thing, man, that I really I've noticed and admire about you. You're in all the rooms and you execute fast. You get a good idea. It is on its way. You are executing. Would you mind kind of sharing kind of your whole mindset around that, your whole kind of belief system, and then kind of your process to execute at a high level? Because I think that's where agents are struggling right now.
Yeah, agents who take action the fastest will do better. I mean, Gary Vee said, I haven't heard him a while, but like just imagine a single week. You and I both had 100 decisions to make. And then you take forever and you make hundreds of stretch, but okay, 100 decisions to make in a week. And then you take your time, you make 30 good decisions and 10 bad decisions. So it took you forever. And then if I go and make 50 bad decisions and also 50 good decisions, I've essentially, let's just say 60. I made 60 good decisions, I made 40 bad decisions. Yeah, I've made more bad decisions to you, but I've also doubled the input of good decisions. So like you're constantly driving business, you're taking action and learning along the way. So that's one thing I feel like I do really well in all aspects of my life. I just go do it and figure out the details later.
Do you have like a kind of a filtering system, a process to make decisions?
Yeah, for my company, we do. If we're looking at new products, I get all my leadership team on the call before we do something. Or if I'm just looking at something that's really prelim very early, I'll say, hey, look at this. We should take a look at it in like Q3. An example is like Monday. We use Monday.com to run their entire back end of their company. We looking at Monday for a good 6 months before I say, hey, this is the Q3 project. So all throughout Q1, Q3, we didn't look at it until it was like there. So when we look at stuff, we always like set time. What I've learned, because I used to stress people out all the time when I had so many ideas grabbing from these conferences and meetings, like everything was a priority. But now it's like, okay, take a look at this, or this is not in a rush. Let's look at this, so on and such. And then every time I have a new idea, I put it on a Slack channel, a private Slack channel with my marketing team. Hey, look at this template or this graph or this idea, and can you implement it? And then they'll come back to me like a week or two later with what the things. I say yes, no, give some feedback, and they keep moving along. So that's the cadence now. Before, like, I just put everything on a notepad and send to my team, but now, like, we don't even put anything on like a checklist with a time, date, and who's responsible, which is getting kind of messy because we have had a lot of new ideas just this month. So we might go back to actually getting it organized. But for right now, the Slack channels and full conversations about each topic has sufficed.
Man, I tell you, one of the best processes, I got it from the digital marketer crew, Ryan Dice and specifically from Ryan Dice, but it was his growth tool. And it was their spreadsheet to where anybody can go in and add what it is and the why it's important. And then what growth lever is it pulling? So is it pulling, traffic? Is it helping with conversion? Is it helping with fulfillment? Is it helping with retention? And what idea is it? But then what's really cool is putting it on a grading scale, right? To where you got to grade it on a scale of 1 to 10 for implementation, right? Can we implement this fast? Is this going to take a year? What is it going to take? What's the confidence that we can get this implemented? Like, we're world-class at this, or like, dude, we have no clue. And then the ease of it. Like, we can get it done in an hour. We can get it done in a month. We can get it done in 6 months. And you just grade it on that scale and you let the numbers shift out. And so, like, when you guys made, the decision, like, hey, let's tighten up and let's focus on retention, then you can look at that sheet and go, okay, well, what are all of our best ideas for retention? What grades the highest out of retention? Hey, do we want to focus on these? So I thought that was a great way to have a system to where because I mean, you're in so many rooms, you're seeing so many ideas, which is your job, right? As CEO, head of the company, to have all of these ideas, but creating a good process to where you're not, like you said, overwhelming, the
Yeah, we
organization
found all the
to
right
implement.
levers and things we've done, like all the stuff I mentioned earlier. And then like now this year we are looking to grow a little more because to compensate for the attrition. Some things we launched recently is now that we have a clear understanding of what has worked, but then we know how much still work. They're not going to give us extra or because then we've been doing it for a while. Like this week we had our team meeting, annual team meeting in person. It's super fun. Like 100 people come out. But we had these like bingo card things. So the idea is not even fully implemented. We have the bingo cards. We got people in the columns and groups, teams of 7, and then we're trying to get them to black out the entire bingo card. Zillow, you make sure you got all your headshots done, your updated profile, a pending escrow here, attend something. I don't even know what's on there. Like I don't know all the details of my company a lot of times, but we know that we don't even know what the prize is yet. I think it might be a ticket to ESPCon for all 7 people or a ticket to a different event. But we're trying to get them in because we've been asked a couple times, like, hey, we want to work in teams again. I know we're one big team and we're more like one company, but they want to kind of like have more bonding and collaboration. So now we're having these groups of 7 do that. Another thing we're planning out right now, I don't have all the details, is do a First Friday. In Oakland, First Friday, it's when people come out in the city of Oakland, they, the street booths and drinks and stuff like that. So we're trying to do First Friday in the office where we'll serve both non-alcoholic and some alcoholic beverages and get vendors out there. And it's just like literally just a mixer just for the sake of mixing. And another thing we're going to do when that opens up the space and gets people seeing it, like twice this week, different companies. One is I don't even know what it is. Like a lender is holding an event, a mixer event for like 7,500 people. I was like, yeah, like, and I'm actually volunteering my space. I actually want to get more future business partners in my market to come use my office. I have a really great event space in my Oakland office, like a 9,000 square feet warehouse. I want more vendors to come use my office space, and I'll offer it for free because it's going to get people into my door and they can see the space and then inquire about like our team. So we're trying different things out. And even we cut down the panels and the events that company held a couple years ago. Our agents ramped up their events. There's tons of like buyer workshops. Like there's a bear, booze, and home buying. No, it's a bear, dogs, and home buying workshop this Saturday at my office. So then the door knock neighborhood and it's this cute flyer. So agents are doing all kinds of things to get their creative self to use our spaces to bring in business. And then I saw this post by some my friends in Scottsdale. They did like a Women's Day thing. I was like, oh, that's really cool. So I sent it to my partner Elias, and then he sent it to our Stockton office, which is like there's a lot of girl power in the office. And now they're organizing some big event next week at that office and bring in like local agents. I think, and then next month we're flying the speaker to that office. So all this is like within the last 2 weeks. These are all completely new ideas. So I think having a company at this size and scale, we can play with a lot of ideas, because every time we have an idea, I'm just intending every event to be like 20 people. So we have 200 agents. Like I don't need to do the event and expect even like a quarter to turn out. So we can try little things and it works well. Then another agent in my office might want to do it. That idea might lead to another idea and so on.
Yeah, you encourage that, and it's just the culture that you guys have created. And no, I think it's amazing, and I think it's the thing. Kind of, we're kind of around trends and heading into the future, and what we're seeing. I think it is more collaboration, going deeper on relationships. Is
social
really
media. We randomly that women idea got sparked because I didn't realize it was Women's Month. I thought it was Women's Day. That's my fault. And then it was like, okay, every year we've done it, or this year we almost forgot to. Like, why don't we? Oh, we also have like 3 full-time video editors on our team in the Philippines. So we're asking the agents to go to. We have 2 studios. Go to the studio or shoot from home, and to cut a video about who was a very influential woman in your life. And then, so when they have that, they can send to their editors and spruce it up. So that's authentic content, is on brand with our company being very vulnerable and open. It's also on brand with the month, and people want to work with people who care. So that's a new thing we launched this week too.
Yeah, I love that. Where are you kind of anticipating and seeing? I know you're looking at a bunch of different things and a bunch of different platforms and tools. Where do you see kind of the direction where the consumer buyers and sellers, where are they gravitating to? Where are you kind of putting an emphasis on AI platforms? Like where are the tools and kind of the focus that you're looking at into the future?
Well, two things, like the definitely more tools. Like we without reference that we um picked up a demo. We picked up a tool for AI, but we didn't use it to the level we were supposed to, and that was our fault. But after like 6 months, we decided to cancel it. But there's another tool this week we're actually demoing tomorrow called House Whisper. But I know like Followbots does it too. So a lot of tools are kind of analyzing the calls and giving you feedback on it. So that's the whole uh, platform that's going to continue to develop. And then on the other side, unfortunately and fortunately, depending on which team you're at, online leads is going to become a bigger part of the market. More companies are spending more money. Like the big lenders, whether it's like UWM or Rocket Mortgage or I don't know, like was Zillow, HomeLight, Movoto, Realtor, CoStar, Homes.com. They're all spending more and more money to attract that consumer and bypass the agents because agents don't do a good job marketing themselves, and then selling those leads back to us. I see that continue to grow. So as a team leader, you need to be constantly. They're not the enemy. I mean, they might be taking some of your business, but you need to figure out ways to partner with those. Like this month, in the last month, I've landed 2 big partnerships with 2 big companies that spends millions and millions of dollars on like TV and radio advertising. So lucky enough to get those type of accounts, and those type of accounts are usually are very hard to get, and then you typically need a pretty large sales team to support the potential flow of business.
How do you position, when you go in to negotiate on those partnerships to make it a win-win? How do you look at, that to where it's a win for them and a win for you guys?
Like we're landing a big account like that, they typically want they're speaking a different language. You need to ideally have experience working with a lot of leads where you're buying the leads from these platforms, or you're like a little flex partner. That they need to know that you're going to convert, and not just conversion rate. You're tracking your team's pickup rate, answer rate, their scripting, their booking, their offer writing. That you run it like a business, and less kind of free flow. So when they know that you can, so by having a lot of sales already and having like an online leads department and team, more companies are willing to do that. Because what the common thing between a lot of these companies that do these big online leads platforms, they actually want to work with less people. They want to work with less people because then it saves them time. They have their reps that want to meet with a team leader. They want the team leader to be able to manage the people, like the whatever number of people they have, versus the sales rep for these companies trying to have connections with 10, 15, 20 different people in the market. So the bigger you are and more organized you are, the higher chance you have to win some of these bigger accounts.
Gotcha. What would you say to, agents right now, maybe smaller markets, or how do you have them, focused on managing and developing relationships with their database, people they know? How are you like, coaching and leading them through to not let, because I think you're spot on when it comes to the online lead generation. It's going to be so hard to compete, but how do you focus them to
pick up? You just call your clients. I mean, you call them, have a cadence, whether you want to do like a different alphabet of the day, you want to like put tasks or anniversary dates or birthdays, like pick, like it's like a lot of stuff we're doing is not that innovative. It's just we do it at a high level. It's the stuff that you don't see on these TV shows, where our agents are literally just picking up calls. Some my top agents that I just mentioned, our top 2 for the year, when I see them, they're in the office, they're making calls. That's all. That's most of their day is literally making calls.
What are you seeing, to help with that engagement? I've seen a lot of agents making a lot of dials, having fewer and fewer conversations. What are you doing to help the engagement to where people want to answer the phone?
Be a value add. A lot of times it's pitching your informing them of off market opportunities, or checking, hey, that may not be ready for you, but I just want to let you know about this one. Or there's anything substantial in the market change, like rates have dropped 6%. 6 weeks in a row. That might be worth a chat, or just huge trends happening in a certain area. every conversation is a little different. Or if it's not like cold lead and you have some type of rapport with them, tracking notes. And when I used to be, I still do like a dozen deals a year. At like 4 years ago, I did 60 deals. Before I did 88 deals. Before I would just time block to meet with different partners in the office and call our clients. But we also had notes like, hey, last time they said they're traveling to Greece for a week. So next time I call, reference Greece, like their kids in soccer. Next time I call, I have the notes there, check in on like their kids in soccer. So you gotta build some type of conversations, because if you call consistently, your database, whether it is a existing past client or someone you're trying to build rapport with, could be a newer lead. But you always want to, for me, I set up the next call. Hey, you said you signed a lease this March right now. You want to sign a lease for next year? It's okay if I check back in with you prior then. The next March, maybe call them in December before they even get their feet wet. Call them. Hey, I know you said you're looking in March. So I want to check in, have plans change. So like, it's a lot of times the conversations that you said this. That's why I'm calling about that to continue it. And then that way, when you're calling, it's never, hey, I'm just checking in. Like, hey, you said you have a cadence of following up. You told them last time that you're going to call them too. And anytime you set an appointment or someone tells you when they want to talk to you, cut that time in half. We found, because you don't want someone else meeting them in between, because you realize your clients don't have a contract with you a lot of times. This buy broker thing is different, but these potential clients you have don't have a relationship with you. They don't owe you anything. You had a good call before months ago. Like, why you're not committed? They can go to a house party, a networking event, meet someone new that their cousin introduced them, and then now you've had a conversation. So it's your fault if you don't like constantly, stay top of mind, because it's your job to follow up, not the client's job to remember you.
Yeah, I love that, and you dropped a little nugget in there, and I want to emphasize it, because I think this is so important. Either it's recruiting agents, working with motivated sellers, buyers, anybody, is that every call you're always thinking about the next move, right? Always the next thing.
Every meeting, every appointment, everything you do, every client you have in your CRM should always have a next activity. It doesn't have to be accurate. You just know, like, I need to call this person in April, and then you want to call them in March, fine. You want February or May, but like, make sure that way you're building your business and you have a list of things. You constantly have a list of things that you gave yourself to do in the future.
Yeah, I mean that right there, right? If more people would do that, obviously getting the notes into the system, into some type of system, doesn't matter what you have, some type of CRM, some type of follow-up process, get the dang note for the last thing that they left you with that is important to them at the moment. And that just eases the conversation when you reach back out to them again. I really, really, really love that.
Same with like, if you're recruiting agents for your team, or like events are big. So every time there's a big like event you think could bring value to someone, you invite them to it. Don't invite them to every single event, because they're gonna be burnt out. They don't have that much time. So like the bigger events, like our annual team meeting was super fun. I think someone invited like 9 different strangers or people I don't know there. And then like, I think 3 or 4 signed on with us in the last month.
Yeah, no, it is. It's so good. Yeah, I think you really nailed it. What I heard, celebrating over the past year, just a lot of back to the basics and going deeper in on relationships and the fundamentals. And then really an emphasis on, those that are committed into the future. What's beyond this year? What are you anticipating, 3, 4, 5, years down the road? I mean, I think, 3 years from now could look completely different than it does today, but like, what are you guys' long-term vision that you're excited about with the company?
I don't plan more than 2 years ahead, because everything is always, and I've been doing this a long time, everything is always constantly unpredictable. But we're really trying to supercharge our agents right now using AI. Like, we're trying to get agents to use more ChatGPT by inputting their clients' objections into it and asking, how should I write this? We're taking their like HOA docs and disclosures into it, having it auto-generate templated emails based on previous prompts. So we're trying to have the agents do extra work where like most of us do not want to spend extra 5 hours on every single potential buyer because we just don't have that time to do stuff. But how do you have a workflow where you're constantly using this chat GPT and stuff to make it work, to make you work look like you spent way more time than you did, because previously 5 hours of work maybe can become pressed into like 20 minutes. Like a new tool that I really love that's been saving me a lot of time is example is something that Glenn's pitching for EXP is Fixer.ai. This tool is like magic. I just signed up for 2 weeks ago and I'm really impressed. Fixer will sit in your inbox and it'll write pre-draft emails for you. So anything that's worth responding, it's smart enough to worth responding to. It'll probably overwrite, like it'll write some extra emails that don't need it. But every time it'll constantly respond to emails, sit in your draft outbox, give you 2 options, and usually one of the options is correct. And then you just kind of delete some words and all that, so it thinks for you. And then now you don't get. I get about 3,000 emails a month on average. I use this thing called Email Report. I really like. It's free. I only respond 6 to 7 emails a day. So that's how I gauge how busy I am. Like I prefer the number to be lower. So like 6 emails out, 100 in, it's pretty good. That means I'm not too bogged down. And then now this Fixer also like organizes your emails, labels automatically. FYI, market meeting updates, marketing. I didn't realize how many marketing meetings I get like 100. Yeah, like I get 100 emails a day. Probably
Yes.
Marketing, but now I organize this. So now like I'm so like last weekend I went the whole week like way less stress, and on Saturday I caught a couple hours to read all marketing emails. I really enjoy my marketing emails, like the blueprint, the hustle, morning brew, stuff like just I like tech news. So now it's all that. So like most days, like right now, I probably have like 5 unread emails. So Fixer will write the emails for you, smart enough, book your calendar, all that. So it's ideally it saves you an hour of time. And I beta test for 2 weeks. I want to get my teams using it. So you can use that. You can use ChatGPT. I'm trying to figure out how to this week figure out a list of questions to ask the agents. And then have them answer the questions to ChatGPT and help them write a nice bio. Because on Zillow, like 4 or 5 of my team members this week all got leads. I got 2 this week, so I'm 2. I'm sorry. Like 3 or 4 of my agents this week got leads from Zillow without the flex fee. They've got the profile, they get like direct link. So now like we need to like get better bios. And then we last month we shot like 10 videos. You could put a big video on your Zillow page, like a trailer kind of thing. So we're trying to get all of our agents to have a trailer video. But that's a big project to film 200 videos. So when we have ideas, we'll beta test with a small group before we roll it out. So that project could literally take me a year to complete 200 videos. And then the bios, I just saw it yesterday. It's like, okay, that might not be done next month. It's not a priority project. Because one of my agents said, oh, I got a lead. I looked at it. She had an immediate typo in her first word. She had 3 typos in grammar in her first sentence. Like, this is terrible. I told her, hey, you need to fix this. I was like, how do I fix this at scale? So anytime I was running a small problem with the agent, I was like, how do we then roll it out
at scale?
Everyone?
Yeah. Kenny, I would love your take on this. So, we're talking about arming agents, being able to utilize with with AI and all the tools and things that we have. How are you kind of starting to see as the consumer, buyers and sellers, get a little bit smarter utilizing or are already there getting smart using ChatGPT in their home buying and home selling search? How are you thinking about that?
Personally, I don't have a lot of feedback on that because I don't work with a lot of buyers, so I don't know what the experience is like. But I would say if anyone's doing a high level, it's probably us here in the Bay Area, and we're in the Bay Area. Silicon Valley is an hour away in San Francisco. So I feel like the smarter higher end shoppers are probably looking up neighborhood trends and stuff with that data. This is related. I was in Dallas last week at the the top ESP meeting. Tom Ferry spoke for 90 minutes, and he said Gronk is the AI built into Twitter or X, is the only AI bot that's tied in with today's information, because it's real time, because Twitter is real time, right? Like ChatGPT used to be, you get old information, or you can find if nobody's writing it by, like no one wrote, what's Oakland's average price this week. But maybe someone tweeted it randomly on whatever. So Gronk is probably the leading edge on that. Another way I've seen agents use it, like one of my agents I didn't know, like one of my agents had a 50-minute buyer call. I'm actually on that deal too, a 50-minute buyer call with a new buyer, and he used Apple's voice memo. The voice memo. I was like, oh, I forgot you could do that. Voice memo. He's gonna take that voice memo whole recording, and then he's gonna put it into a chat GPT, and then it was too long to break it down, but he's gonna do it half and half, and then have it give the summary, and then ask him to send me it. So then I don't have to be on this call for 50 minutes to get all the highlights. And he also doesn't go back and listen to 50 minutes and type all the notes and stuff. So those are some of the ways to power up the experience. And if you send it to the client, this is what we talked about. That's really impressive. If the agent's that organized, that chance of me wanting to work with that person increases by a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I really love it. I've, utilized just, do a lot of my calls on Zoom. And so just use the Zoom summary. And what I found is that it is just allows me to be more present in the conversation, because I know that it's going to summarize everything we're talking about. So I'm not getting distracted, taking notes, doing things. I'm able to really be present in the conversation. And so I can see where that would be really beneficial to the experience.
Yeah, you're giving the, think about cool as like you're the buyer, your agent send you a summary of your call, and now you get to send that summary to your mom in the different area because they're at home type of down payment system. This is what we recap. So essentially, now you're getting the consumer, your client, to adopt AI. And then it's part of their life now, and it's like, oh, this is kind of cool. Maybe they're using the future. So like you're using AI to create a better experience for everyone. So it's not replacing someone, because I'm not reading. Depends on if it's a new building, maybe I have to, but I'm not going to read 300 pages of HOA docs for a couple of things. So, but now you kind of can, even so you're doing excessive stuff at a higher level because it's done for you. So now like you can build up your your playbook. Okay, every time I get a new client, I'm gonna do these 5-6 things that no one else is gonna do, and normally take this many hours, and then send to them. So that just increases your chance of close, of you being hired, and then also your client can tell their friends how impressive you are. Dude, my agent uses ChatGPT and send me all this cool stuff.
Yeah, no, it is. It's interesting. And I love how you said, if you think about it to help you do more excessive things and be able to summarize and go a lot faster, but
it'll give us our team a leading edge too. Because if you're adopting it, it's back to replacing who doesn't use it. Well, if you're with a company, I'll say a traditional company, just a traditional company, maybe your sales manager is 30 years in game, hasn't sold real estate for 20 years, is not on social media, is not using AI, they're not going to suggest that the company use it. So then people like on my team will constantly be ahead of most of the other companies in the market, because what we found is like a lot of these sales managers and broker owners, they don't want to open up a can of worms. Like we'll tell you, I can't tell you use social media, I can't tell you use AI if I don't know what it is. But if I tell you use it and then you start asking me questions and I don't know, then it seems like I'm not that smart, and then now I'm screwed, because then now they're going to try to find someone smarter to work for. So it's definitely it's opposite of abundance. It's a sacred opposite of abundance mindset. They don't want people to be ahead. And then that's why I'm lucky to have the time and the ability to go to these new rooms and constantly learn. And I'll learn something and not even be sure what it is, and I'll just like, hey, this is something I looked at. Like this Fixer app, I'm promoting it. I think it's great. I've only used it for 2 weeks. I haven't suggested it to my team yet because I'm still beta testing it. So, as a leader, if you want your team to do more and become better agents, you also need to approve, and that's a challenge with a lot of teams, because most people don't have the time to do it.
Spot on. And most of the time, because the team lead is buried deep in production, because they have to be able to do that, and their models off, and they're just not able to execute and dive deep and learn and continue to
It's not like my role. My title is just as visionary. I love my job. I love leading a team, not because I love leading the team. I love learning stuff and being experiment with different things and then apply it to my team and see what works. So we're it's I don't know, it's like my own lab, science.
Lab science you're project. Definitely in the lab. Yeah, for sure. It's so good. Kenny, brother, I appreciate you jumping in here, really, embodying what the whole Expert Mentor series has been about. And I think next month will be 7 years of 6 years of Expert Mentors Live. So
Wow.
it's been,
You're probably one of the most consistent people in the game.
Yeah, well, I think that's how I got nominated for it when Kyle and Dan went to Jay about, hey, we need to do something like this. Kinder goes, oh, there's only one person I know that will run with it, and so no,
I like your sweatshirt a lot. I know that's a Mark Wahlberg, right? He's also one of the most consistent people like in the world. I think he works out like 4 a.m. every day, literally every day. He posts
every day,
a lot.
every day. Yeah, he is. It is a great reminder every time I put this on. So Kenny, I appreciate you, man. And I know you're definitely always leading the way. Like I said, you're in the rooms. It's something I admire about you, and being able to have a process to execute in the right way, and implementation and move fast. And guys out there, if you haven't connected with Kenny, get on Instagram and Kenny Fast on Instagram, and pay attention, man. And I think there's a lot that you're teaching by leading by example that all of us here can continue to learn from.
Cool. Well, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, brother. We'll see you again, man. Thank you. That's a wrap for today. I hope you got something valuable from this episode. If you did, hit follow and visit johnkitchens.coach for more ways we can work together. See you on the next episode.